Hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to my basic thoughts about this game known as Bravely Default. Uh, my goodness, that was quick.
We have been
Uh,
outflanked.
yeah, essentially, I don't have a lot to say
Let me
about
see.
the demo that I wouldn't have said about the actual game, in my opinion, because it is essentially very similar to the original Bravely Default, which is by no means a bad thing. In fact, it is one of my favorite things about this demo, is that essentially it is Bravely Default 1 with better graphics. Uh, the characters are slightly different, the stories are slightly different, but yeah, overall, I'm very much a fan. Speaking specifically about the graphics, they are much more polished than what you would find on the 3DS, and that point is rather apparent here. You notice the screens and such are very clean, uh, the attack screens, etc. Now, the textures and whatnot on the bugs and things of that nature, they seem a little bit fuzzy, and that could be because I'm on a 4K screen right now. But generally speaking, I think this may be the tone of the entire game, is that little bit of fuzziness. Um, yeah, which again, not a bad thing. It's just, you know, uh, I'm hoping that's something they'll polish out later on. Um, the particle effects. Let's go ahead and show you Phyra, which is the weakness of some of these creatures, not all of them, I don't think. We'll also show Thunder, and then we'll show Blizzara. Okay, so that last one will just be an attack. I love the attacks in this game. It's so funny. They just kind of like fidget at their opponent and they take damage. It's so great.
May sorcery strike you down.
As you can see, the particle effects are actually very well done, and they have the same sort of blurriness that the rest of the attacks, the rest of the stuff in this game has. All the backgrounds and the creatures and the characters and the armors, etc. They have this fuzziness. And again, I think it could be because of my 4K screen. It could also be because they have not finished the game yet. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and go for the kill strike here. As you can tell, I've been playing this for a little while. I should be ready to fight the last boss in about 3 or 4 levels. I have every intention of doing so. Wow, those guys are sturdy. But yeah, the next thing I'm going to talk a little bit about is the story itself. Because it's a demo, I know that the story is not going to be too terribly in depth or amazing or whatever like that, but I do also notice that it is very topical, very base level, and I have come to terms with the fact that that is Nintendo's basic way of doing things. Is to get a basic story out and get really good gameplay to make up for the storyline's deficiencies. That's generally their pattern, but they sometimes go against that grain. This, so far, from what I've seen in the demo, doesn't seem to be that way. You notice that there are other things in this game that are much more polished looking than the rest of the stuff. For instance, the character animations, the character models in any sort of screen or menu looks very, very well done, very well polished. The books and things that they use as backgrounds for the save menu, for instance, are all very tattered and run down looking, but they're also noticeably blurry compared to the sharpness of the characters. Again, that could be because of the screen and it's just showing the differences, making them glare more, but yeah, I'm thinking it's just basically because it's still the demo. As far as the areas go, oh my goodness.
Okay, let's
Cannot catch a break right now. I'm trying to get out of this particular area. This is the last spot where the boss is supposed to be. Let's go ahead and go with what I know is their weakness. Hopefully this will kill them. There we go.
Hardly worth the bother.
The stages, the levels in this game are, as I was mentioning before, kind of topical. A little bit on the basic side as far as the textures and things of that nature go, and I'm not sure if that's because they were going for that or because they just haven't finished the game. Whatever the case, rats. Whatever the case may be, I have a hard time like looking at the backgrounds for very long. I tend to focus on the characters and the menu screens because my eyes keep trying to adjust for the fuzziness. Just trying to get out of here at this point. I'm just gonna finish battles relatively quickly.
come and get it. On to the next one. All right.
Hardly worth the bother.
Okay, so for any of you that have actually played the demo at this point, you are well aware that it is not an easy demo to play. Rather, it's not an easy game to play. The difficulty curve kind of slaps you in the face if you try to go a different way or go to another area that they didn't tell you to go to. And that could be because they're trying to make give you an idea of the levels of difficulty or the gap in difficulty that the game will go over throughout its course. But yeah, it's one of those things that I enjoy very much because I like difficult games, generally speaking. Now there are some difficult games that I have not come back to that I should be coming back to, aka Dark Souls, that I will not be able to do anytime in the near future because I have so many other things that I want to play and get out of the way first. I still have to finish Xenoblade Chronicles X. I still have to finish a couple of other games. Basically all of my full clear games, I want to get those done and over with before I start something new. So why am I playing something new now, you might ask? Because it's become a little bit monotonous to stick with the same 2 or 3
The
games.
advantage is theirs.
Yeah, so I figured I'd do this kind of review sort of thing to kind of give you guys an idea of how I feel about the demo and the fact that I'm probably definitely getting this game when it comes out, mostly because it is one of my favorite RPG series of all time.
You asked for it, sorry. Don't take it personally. I've got another
That
one.
was a piece of cake.
Alright, level 18. Excuse me, sorry about that. If we keep on going like this, I might be able to beat up the last boss with you guys actually watching. I've played through most of this beginning, and I believe that I'm on the last boss because I have actually engaged him once or twice, and he has mopped the floor with me. Yeah. You'll notice that the overworld, the map is very cartoony, very cartoon-esque. You see the buildings in the background are very tastefully done in a cartoony form. Oh, that's right. I needed to get my last bit of armor, which this will be a great time to talk about the armor in the game. Generally speaking, the armor is something that does not change on your character. Your helmet, your shirt, your tunic, and your pants, and things like that, they don't actually change at all. What does change, however, is the weapon that you use. For instance, if I were to equip a regular dagger, it would look different than a mithril dagger, and we'll go into that in a second. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and go to, let's see, I get 2 of those. Then I'm gonna get 2 of the mana robes. Okay, now the reason I did not purchase and equip these is because I have every intent of swapping the roles around of these particular characters. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and show you guys the menu screens for that kind of stuff now. The stores and the shops, there you go, are all very intuitive. The menu screens are pretty basic, but they're exactly what I would expect to see, and they're not clumsy or hard to navigate at all, which is more than I can say for a few games that I've played out there. Let's go ahead and go for equipment first. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with weapons. We'll go ahead and equip a dagger for him. You notice the regular dagger looks different than the mithril dagger. There you go. I'm going to unequip it because of his skills. We're going to go into that in a moment. But every other piece of gear does not look any different on your characters. Alright. For jobs, since I'm about to change jobs, we'll talk about jobs. You have a main job and a sub job. In this case, the main job of this particular character, the main character is a monk. His secondary job is Vanguard. Now I'm going to go ahead and swap him over to a white mage as his main job. And you notice his clothes change. This is the only time that clothes change in this game, is when you are changing jobs. Alright, let's go for sub job, black mage. Now we're going to go ahead and swap this young lady to a monk as her main job, and Vanguard as her sub job. Now, why am I doing this, you may wonder? Because I am trying to have all of my characters learn all of the jobs to see who is better at what. I've already done a little bit of experimenting with this, but yeah, we'll set that as main job, and then we'll set that as a sub job. There we go. I've already done a little bit of experimenting with this, but generally speaking, it's very stereotypical. It appears that the girls in this game are better at casting and healing and things of that nature. The guys are better at punching people in the face and beating people with swords and things like that. Yeah, it's just the different proficiencies that come from the skills, and I'm thinking that that'll balance out as soon as I've learned all the skills with all the characters, which is why I'm trying to verify that before I come to a conclusion specifically about the skills and such. And last but not least, we're going to get this guy to be a black mage, mostly because I absolutely love his outfit as a black mage. Look at that man. Man is killing it over here. Alright, now we're going to do sub job as white mage. Now, as a white mage slash black mage combo, we need to make sure that we have proper gear equipped. But before we do that, I'm going to go into the ability screen. You have your main abilities, and then you have your passive abilities, your main abilities meaning your jobs, and then you have your passive abilities as your different jobs. As you master different jobs, you can get different types of passive abilities. Yeah, my setup at the moment is the opposite of what it used to be. I use 2 damage dealers that are physical and 2 damage dealers that are magical. Excuse me. The reason I do that is because this demo has a really good mix of both physically weak and magically weak characters to fight. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my equipment right on these guys here. I'm gonna go ahead and unequip all my things except for my Star Pendant. Star Pendant is an accessory that I am loving right now because it has poison immunity. Poison immunity is apparently very important for the game because there's an unusually large amount of stuff that can poison. There's some flowers, there's some snakes, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, just go ahead and get all that going here. Right. And then okay, then we're gonna go ahead and equip as soon as we are done removing all of this stuff here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put the silver glasses on my mages. Sorry, on my damage dealer, my physical damage dealers, and white cape on my magical damage dealers. Reason being, silence immunity is vital for any mage, and blindness immunity makes it possible for my melee folks to hit. If they're blind, they can't hit, which is a problem. Let's see, we'll go for Mana Robe. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, we'll go for Mana Robe. And then we'll go for Mystic Hood. And then we'll put on a couple of staffs here. I'm sorry, a couple of things here. Rod of Ice. So I'll go with there. And then I believe if I put anything besides Rod of Ice on him for his other hand, he'll... sorry, if I put anything besides a shield on his other hand, he'll be too heavy. Let me double check that just to make sure. Oh, he wouldn't be too heavy. How convenient. Let's see if we can... okay, it looks like that may not work the way I want it to. So what I'm going to do is stick with... Valkyrie Shield. It's a very strong shield. Yeah, we'll go ahead and stick with a round shield here. And then next we'll go ahead and get you a broad axe, or would it be... there we go, Earthbreaker. That sounds intimidating. Wow, looks intimidating. Alrighty, and then we'll go for a shield in the other hand. We'll go for Valkyrie Shield. Very nice. Ooh. Alrighty, and then, let me see. Yeah, I think you guys get the idea. I'll just show you guys my setup when I'm completely done here. I'll use a little movie magic to skip ahead. Alright, ladies and gents, this is what we got. We got these 6 items here on our main character. That's what we have on our secondary character, I guess you could say. And then our 2 sidebars right there and right there. Coolio. Now, let's go ahead and save just to make sure. And then we'll do a little bit of explanation on combat and a little bit into the areas as we go along, and we'll be done. Oh, did I save it? Yes, I did. Okay. Now I know for sure I saved it, even though I saw before. Anyway. The town is relatively dense and packed with people and things to find. A lot of great items in there. Now, most of this area is a... I love that. After you reach a certain level past the stuff that you're fighting, they will actively run away from you. And they took a page from Legend of Zelda here because you can slice up the grass and get stuff out of the grass. It's one of my favorite aspects of the game here. If I wanted to waste a lot of time slicing up grass, I could. Alright. And that was an area for a treasure chest. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time doing that. But yeah, there's a little forest area, a little wooded area here. Then there was of course, the desert area. And there's a little mountain region. You don't want to get out the way? Because you're in the way right now. There you go. Little mountain region here. There's another item. Wow, everybody's afraid of me now. I have to actually chase down somebody if I want to fight them. Or that.
Come, do your worst. Here I go.
Okay.
I'm all set. Found your
Rang?
I absolutely love it. I'm sorry, I watched them attack and it's like swat, swat, swat. It's so funny. Now I've increased my battle speed a little bit. You can do that by clicking on the, well, not clicking, by pressing the
This is interesting.
D-pad, left or right sides of the D-pad, to increase or slow down your combat speed. And there's this little oasis area. Slice some more grass. I don't think that's the only oasis area, but
We've outmaneuvered them.
oh yeah, these are the other poisonous things besides the wasps.
That'll do nicely. Let me. I'm going all in.
You notice that they vampire on you.
All right. On to the next one.
Don't take it personally. Hardly worth. One must never stop.
My goodness, I'm a fan of that damage.
So exciting.
And then the rest of it is pretty much continuous desert, except for this little platform of land here. Oh, there are other things that chase me. This is kind of like a rocky, craggy area here. And then there's a really vast ocean out there.
Huh? How did...
Alright, we're gonna black magic it up.
Away, fire your heat! Eat sorcery! Right in the soft base! That'll do nicely! Another one bites the dust! Get it! Patch up time! This should help! Raise my bacon there!
Healing there.
I got another one! Hardly worth the bother.
Onward!
Another step in the right direction.
Woo! I like what I'm seeing here!
Oh, that's one thing I didn't do. Talk about the abilities that I put on each character. Oh, and I didn't even switch them. So I have them set up as if they were the other stuff that they were before. Let's see. Let's see if I can talk about it. Okay, so Bare Knuckle Brawler is for your monk character. Crit Boost and Revenge supplement that really well. Basically, you get a chance of earning 1 BP whenever damage is received and all that jazz. Let's see, physical attack doubled. But yeah, point is, these are the best things that I've found for a monk so far. That may change over time. This is the best for a healer or a black mage. Yeah, you notice I had it on both of my characters that were white and black mages respectively. And then for your tanky type, go for crit boost and BP by default. I'm sure that there's something better than crit boost. I'm gonna go ahead and search through those things later. But yeah, that's my basic setup for the tanky stuff and the monk folk and the magicians. So speedy. And then there was like a beach area that I'm gonna head towards now. Right here. There we go, beach area. One thing that I absolutely love graphically about this game, even though again it's a little bit out of focus, a little fuzzy, is the water. Like, do you see this? Gosh, it's beautiful. I feel like water graphics are one of the things that most production companies are doing well these days, but these are like nice. Like I said, if they clean up the particles a bit, the textures a bit, then this would be absolutely flawless water. I love it. Anyways, yeah, overall my impressions of the game, I can't wait for the full game to come out. The demo was a good enough toe dip to get me interested in the real game. Not like I wasn't going to buy it anyway, but this just kind of gave me a better idea of what we're getting into, which is essentially a continuation or an improvement on the battle systems and stuff that we saw in the first game, and a new storyline to kind of wet our whistle for our need of a good RPG. Another fun thing that I didn't mention before with respect to the graphics, I love how the sand is just kind of blowing over the sand dunes here. It's a very nice effect. At any rate, yeah, you can see how muddy the rocks look. I mean, they're not bad rocks. Like, I feel like these are just unpolished, unpolished textures because of the way the game is set up as a demo. But yeah, man, those are my thoughts on the game so far. Can't wait for the thing to come out. If you guys like this video, please like and or subscribe. If you'd like to check out other videos I've done, you may do that by clicking on the links in this video. I do have a Facebook and a Twitter, both dedicated to making sure you guys know when I release new content. Please check those out. I also have a Ko-fi page. Donate there if you feel the need, and I'll catch you guys next time.